Which should you buy? Good morning, YouTube. What's up, guys? I hope you're safe and healthy. We're back and we're ready to talk about shoes. One of the questions that I've been getting a lot on my channel since I did a first run impressions of the Saucony Endorphin Pro is, which should I buy? Should I get the Next Percent from Nike or should I get the Saucony Endorphin Pro? Next Percent, Endorphin Pro. Both are really nice colors. So we're gonna dive a little bit deeper into that question today. Hopefully by the end of this video, you'll be able to determine which you should buy, and I'll tell you which I would buy again. But of course, what's a run like hella video without a slow motion running montage of me in this shoe, right? So let's start with that and then we'll dive into the shoes. Let's start with the specs. The Nike Vaporfly Next Percent is 6.6 ounces for a men's size 9. Now keep in mind, this is a unisex shoe. I actually have a men's size 9 and I weighed it myself. It's like 6.56 ounces, so I guess they rounded up. Fair enough. It has an 8mm drop with 40 millimeters of stack in the heel, pretty high there, and 32 in the forefoot. For me, the Next Percent is true to size, but I've heard that some people have had sizing issues, so it's definitely something that you might want to try on in a store, if that's possible in the time of COVID, but whenever you can. The Saucony Endorphin Pro is 6.8 ounces for a women's size 8. This is not a unisex shoe. But for my size, 10.5 women's, it was about 7.32 ounces. It has an 8mm drop like the Next Percent with 32 millimeters of stack in the heel and 25 in the forefoot. And for me, this shoe is true to size, no issues there. So let's talk about the uppers. The Vaporfly Next Percent is using a new technology from Nike called Vaporweave. It's really a material that I've never felt before in any running shoe. It almost feels like a rain jacket or something. I don't really have any issues with fit here. I do have some areas where it looks baggy almost. Overall, it's decently comfortable. The laces are asymmetrical, which looks extremely weird if you're looking at your foot from the top view. But from a comfort standpoint, it's not a problem. The laces are flat and not stretchy, but they are pretty long. And if you're looking for some kind of heel support, we kind of have something going on here. It's not the worst. The tongue has no padding at all. It's just a thin piece of something. And you do get some padding in the ankle area right in here, this black strip of cushion. I wouldn't say that I hate Vaporweave. I wouldn't say that I love Vaporweave. I understand what Nike was trying to do, make a more lightweight upper that is pretty performance oriented. Other than that, if you turn this shoe over, you will see there is a ton of room in the toe box, but it does get really narrow in the midfoot area. As for the upper on the Endorphin Pro, Saucony is using a form-fit mesh. Apparently this upper was inspired by Saucony's track spikes, so it's stretchy, it adapts to your foot pretty well, and you don't feel restrained in there. The laces are also flat and not very stretchy, but they're shorter than the Next Percent laces in my opinion. The tongue doesn't really have any padding here either, but it is gusseted, so it's kind of a nice sock-like feel. But for those of you looking for heel support, there's really not much here. I'd say the Next Percent has a little bit more of that. There's more padding around this ankle in the Endorphin Pro than there is in the Next Percent. If you turn the shoe over, you'll see there's enough width there to get your toes to splay. I don't have any problems with it being too narrow. Now, for me personally, if I had to choose between one of these uppers, I think I'd go with the Endorphin Pro. Don't get me wrong, Vaporweave is a really nice material and it's water resistant a hell of a lot more than this is. But in terms of that fit, in terms of how it feels while I'm running, I think about the Endorphin Pro's upper a lot less than when I have the Next Percent on my foot. This is more of a traditional running shoe upper, and this is more of an alien invasion upper. No, I'm just kidding. It's just really different. Everybody knows what makes both of these shoes special is the midsole. So let's talk about both. The Next Percent features a full-length midsole of Zoom X foam, which is world-renowned, has won many marathons. Zoom X is a Pebax-based foam, which means it's highly responsive, highly cushioned, and feels like a spring. And sandwiched in between those two layers is a lightweight carbon fiber plate. So I'll tell you right off the bat, I loved Zoom X in the original 4% that I wore, and I love it in the Next Percent. And I love that there's more of it in the Next Percent. If you've tried any of the Vaporfly shoes, whether it's the 4% OG, the Flyknit, or the Next Percent, you know there's really nothing else like stepping into a Vaporfly shoe. The energy return on the shoe is super solid. I haven't worn this shoe in a marathon yet, I'll be completely honest, but I have worn it in a half marathon that I PR'd. I was feeling pretty good. One negative for me that I do have to mention is because of the arch collapse that I have on my right foot, this shoe can feel kind of unstable at times. If you turn the shoe over, you can see just how narrow this midfoot is, which sometimes tends to have me go like this a little bit. But hey, I still wore it because nothing really can compete with it until the Saucony Endorphin Pro. The Saucony Endorphin Pro uses a full-length Power Run PB midsole, which is also a Pebax-based foam. It kind of looks like Adidas Boost, but it's lighter and it feels better. And of course, sandwiched in between the two layers of Power Run PB, there is an S-shaped carbon fiber plate. And there's not only that, Saucony is also using a speed roll technology, which just helps to roll you forward faster in your stride. Before the shoe came out, I did try a couple other carbon fiber plated shoes, and I was like, all right, these are really good, maybe they can compete, but they never feel quite the same as the Next Percent. This is the closest thing to that, but it offers something different, which I think is a good thing. This shoe is still soft, it's still incredibly bouncy and springy and has high energy return, but it's just a little bit firmer of a ride. But it feels smooth and efficient. And another great thing about it is that it's slightly wider in the midfoot area than the Next Percent. While I haven't taken it as long as I have the Next Percent, I still feel like this would be better on my ankles and my feet overall by the end of a marathon potentially. Okay, so if you're asking me which midsole I would choose, I think I would go with the Endorphin Pro. I love the Next Percent and lots of people would still pick this. I think the Endorphin Pro just works slightly better with my running stride. And the cool thing about the Endorphin Pro is that it's not trying to copy the Next Percent. It's offering a similar but different package. So runners really do have a lot of options. All right. Let's chat about the outsole. The Nike Vaporfly Next Percent features some blown rubber in the forefoot, some exposed Zoom X material in the midfoot, and some high abrasion rubber in the heel. Compared to the original 4% that I have, this has a much better traction pattern and far superior rubber. This forefoot rubber is tacky, it's durable. I've taken it in wet conditions, dry conditions, mostly pavement, but it's held up perfect every time, no issues. Of course, because you have some of that exposed Zoom X in the midfoot, there is a little bit of fraying, but I really think that's just cosmetic. I don't think it's anything serious. Now in the Endorphin Pro, we have carbon rubber in the forefoot, some exposed Power Run PB in that midfoot area, and a little more carbon rubber in the heel. The traction on the Endorphin Pro is pretty good. I have taken this on slightly damper days and it holds up well. I've gotten a little bit of slipping on wet roads, but nothing terrible. And there's no fraying on the exposed midsole material, so that's a thumbs up. If you're asking me to pick an outsole that I like better, I think I like the rubber better on the Next percent. Durability wise, I'm really not sure which one would be better here. I'm thinking over time the Saucony Endorphin Pro will hold up a little bit better, but I don't have enough miles in it to really determine. So now that we got the specs, the upper, the midsole, and the outsole out of the way, let's quickly talk about durability and price. Just based on how both of these feel on foot, from the outsole to the upper, I think that the Endorphin Pro is gonna hold up a little bit better. So price. The Nike Vaporfly Next percent is $249.95 on runningwarehouse.com, and the Saucony Endorphin Pro is $199.95 on runningwarehouse.com. So that's a $50 difference. Either way, Running Warehouse has you covered. If you're interested in either of these shoes, I'll link them down below in the description of this video. Click that link and pick up your own pair. It is an affiliate link, which doesn't mean much for you. It just helps my channel so I can make these videos and awkwardly hold these shoes in front of the camera for you. So as of right now, in this point of time, in this very moment, which of these carbon fiber plated beauties would I pick? I'm going with the Endo Pro on this, honey. I love both of these shoes, don't get me wrong. I'm not a Nike Next percent hater. I just don't think it loves me back as much as the Endorphin Pro does. And what I mean by that is I just think the Endorphin Pro is better for my running stride. This just feels a little bit more stable and makes my ankles scream a little bit less. For you guys, I think it's either gonna come down to price or what you like in a running shoe. Do you want a softer, propulsive ride with a slightly less traditional upper, or are you looking for something a little more familiar, a little more running shoe-like, but it's a little bit firmer? The decision is up to you. Well guys, that concludes this video of which should you buy, the Nike Vaporfly Next percent or the Saucony Endorphin Pro. If you enjoyed this video, please like it down below and subscribe. And when you're done with all that, hit that notifications bell down below so you can find out every time I upload a brand spanking new video. I have another video for you guys next week, but in the meantime, get out there, only socially distanced, get on the grind, and don't forget to run like heller. See you next time. Ooh, I guess we can try holding them like this, even though it's kind of bizarre, but. So if you're asking me to pick an outsole that I like better, this is weird.